Hi, my name is Kate Gaertner, and I am the CEO and founder of TripleWin Advisory, which is a insight consultancy on corporate sustainability. And today I am teasing up a new blog that is a portion taken from the book that I'm writing on climate change and sustainability. So really making climate change personal so that we can make sustainability actionable. So this portion of the book is the importance of climate change action plans. So what are they and who implements them? Climate change action plans can start at the national level, and in fact, under the Obama administration, there was a climate action plan put in place that's being currently dismantled by the Trump administration and its various federal agencies. And so really the mantle is being taken up by states and cities and even towns within the United States. So this new blog that I wrote is very much about, okay, climate change is real. It's not a hoax, and it's going to affect really everyone on the globe, but let's just focus on the United States. It's going to affect you whether you live in urban environments or rural, if you are Democratic or Republican leaning, and it's going to impact you in various ways, very diverse, different ways, but it's going to increasingly be detrimental to economies and productivity as well as our health and well-being. So, as I said earlier, states are really taking up the mantle and developing their own climate action plans. And that's also true of cities, big cities like a Salt Lake City or a New York City. They have their own specific climate action plan. And the reason for that is that there's just different needs and requirements. There's also different weather patterns and climate conditions in different regions. So the United States is just not one uniform territory. And hence why you need very specific action plans to be developed and then followed for different regions of the United States. A climate action plan, as you probably already have picked up, is really a roadmap for the future, for a more sustainable future. And that roadmap develops and then also defines measurable metrics to decrease a town, a city, a state, nation's greenhouse gas emissions so that we can mitigate climate change going into the future. So those greenhouse gas emissions are all due to some form or various forms of economic activity. That could be from household or municipal energy use. It could be from automobile usage. It could be from waste stream accumulation. It could be from agricultural production in a certain region, and the like. So the blog mentions that there are 21 U.S. states and the District of Columbia that have actually put together a climate action plan and are driving towards those goals, those metrics of decreasing greenhouse gas emissions. The rest of the United states do not have climate action plans in place. So I'm going to leave it up to you to read the blog to find out which state or the state that you live in, whether they have a climate action plan or not. And that's going to give you a good indication whether they have considered the impacts of climate change on their community and their residents, and whether they have any understanding of how to move forward to adapt to climate change and to make your community more resilient to the negative impacts that will occur because of climate change. Now, the blog doesn't go into reasons why there's only 21 states that has implemented and ratified a climate change action plan. What the blog does do is say that out of those 21 states, 4 of them were Republican leaning in the last national election of 2016. So it's a pretty interesting skew, and this happens to be true that over the last couple of decades, where there was always great agreement before the last couple of decades between independents, Democrats, and Republicans that climate change was real, that this was something that we had to deal with, and that we should develop a strategy for mitigating some of the negative impacts. Over the last couple of decades, Democrats and Republicans have skewed to the extremes of each other. So Democrats believe in climate change, and Republicans really, for the most part, do not. Only about a third to less do. So the blog goes into, out of those 21, 4 of those states were Republican leaning. And why? Why do they have action plans, climate change action plans? And that's a pretty interesting discussion. So it goes, and that really leads into sort of the last section of the blog, which is a climate change action plan is a smart business strategy. It's basically saying, hey, listen, there's some threats to our community. There's some threats to our water, our land usage, to contamination issues, to flooding, whatever it may be for that particular territory or region. And the action plan says, listen, here's a roadmap for how we can make those impacts as little as possible and give us the opportunity to respond to them the best way possible so that we can move forward into the future in a positive, productive, healthy way. So, why don't you go read the blog, find out if your state has a climate change action plan, and learn about why these are important, and give me your feedback. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next week.